Gary, you know, women and men oftentimes, we give ourselves a pass, but we find fault with the other person. And once you get in that mindset, it's kind of like tumbling down a hill.
Don't you think it goes both ways?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's human nature.
Yeah.
To find fault with the other person, justify ourselves. And
right, sure.
I know I share this story in the book, but I think it's fun to kind of talk about a little now. But when I was in Puerto Rico doing a Happy Life Women's event, and actually kids event, I took some women with me from Happy Life Women, which is an organization that I have. We went there to minister to these children, do a carnival, and then I was preaching the Sunday message. And when I got to the location where we're doing the carnival, I got an alert on my phone that our house was possibly on fire. And so then I get a call from the alarm company, and they're like, you know, we've got a fire alert, you know, do we go out?
Okay.
And so they were trying to reach my husband, who was in town, and they couldn't reach him. And I said, I'll call you right back. So I tried to reach him. I couldn't reach him either. So I had to say, okay, go, you know, because if the house is possibly on fire, I don't want to take a chance. Later, I get a call from Gary, and he was like, everything's okay. The house wasn't on fire. I left a pan. It was on the stove.
I had it on simmer. It wasn't.
Right.
I had it set on simmer.
It was supposed
I
to
just
be
going
simmer,
out in the
right?
backyard to do something with the deer I'd gotten to get it, you know, hung up.
Right.
And I thought I'd be gone for a couple minutes. So
Right.
when I walked back up the house, I hear these voices, and I think that's strange. And then I hear like radio voices. I thought, the alarm police officer, someone's up there. I go up there, and firemen are there, and
Fire trucks,
there's some
paramedics.
there's haze there, and obviously the pan had smoked. It didn't catch on fire, but it smoked, and it set the alarm off. So I thought, no big deal. And then here comes all the more vehicles, you know, all the paramedics.
How many fire trucks did show up?
2 trucks showed up, and it's like a big deal, you know. But anyway, so it's kind of embarrassing. So I thought it was all finished, but then
Right.
I had to clear the house because it smelled kind of.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
had that
smelled
smell,
terrible.
yeah, so
that night, I'm in Puerto Rico, and I'm so homesick. You have to know, this was before Christmas. I'd done 0 Christmas shopping, and it was a week before Christmas. And so I just want to get home to my house and go Christmas shopping. So that night, my flight was delayed 2 times. It's 2:30 in the morning. I finally get to fly. I have to fly through, I think it was New York City, layover, and then get home. I get home at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. I think it was more like 6.
Wow, yes.
He picks me up at the airport. We go to breakfast, and at this point, I've forgotten the fire. I'm jet lagged. I'm tired. I don't even remember because I preached the day before.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so all of a sudden, I get this urge after breakfast and a cup of coffee to go Christmas shopping. I'm like, I've got to get my Christmas shopping done. And thank you for just going along with that. So we took off after breakfast. We shopped all day long till about 5 o'clock. And you know how it is. You're tired now. You're really tired.
Yeah.
The coffee's worn off. The shopping, you had that adrenaline rush, but now it's completely gone. So we drive home, get to the house, and when we open the door, the house smells terrible.
Yeah.
So now I'm tired, I'm grouchy, the house is smelling terrible. And then I remember, oh no, Gary's fire. He caught the house almost on fire. And so I'm like, oh, the house smells terrible.
It did, yeah.
So then we rehearsed the story again, and he's like, I didn't mean for it to happen, and I'm sorry. And I kind of did the thing sometimes we do as a wife. You sort of shame him a little bit, you know, like, I can't believe you almost burned our house down. So at that point, I'm like a little girl that needs put to bed to go to sleep because I'm tired. So anyway, I Google about if you put a pan of vinegar on the stove, it's supposed to suck and take out the odors in the air. So I tried it that night, didn't do much. Slept, next morning, I put on another pot of vinegar on the stove. He goes off to work. I head to breakfast. I go meet my mom for breakfast. Then I go to get my nails done. So I'm sitting with my nail person, and
Right.
she says, so Drenda, what exciting thing happened this week? And I said, well, I just got in from Puerto Rico, and I did this kids event. And then I said, and Gary almost caught the house on fire. And as soon as I say the word fire, all of a sudden this panic hits me. It's like, oh no, fire, fire. And I start yelling at my nail tech, fire, fire. And she's like doing my nail. And she's like, what? I said, I left a pan on the stove. I left a pan on the stove. And she goes, oh my gosh, what do you want to do? And she's finishing up my second hand. I'm like, finish really fast, you know. So she finishes it up really, really fast. And she's like, go, you can pay me later. I take off, I jump in the car. I put the flashers on. I start driving like 75 miles an hour. Hopefully no officers are listening, but anyway, I'm driving really, really fast. I'm praying. You know, you pray, you're just like, I'm praying, and God, I thank you that my house doesn't catch on fire. Thank you that the police don't come, the fire doesn't, because I'm thinking if the fire department comes, they're going to think like we're arsonists twice in the same week.
We've tried now twice.
Catch our house on fire.
Right.
And so I'm panicking. I'm driving, passing cars. We live in the country. I'm flying, going as fast as I can. 1 minute I'm praying, asking God not to let it be on fire, not to let the fire department come or show up. And the next second I'm thinking, oh no, I did the same thing. Oh no, I can't believe I did this. And you go back and forth between the prayer and the worry and the prayer and the worry. And I'm doing that the whole 15 to 20 minutes I've got to get home.
Yes.
So I come flying up our driveway. I jump out of the car. I run through the garage. I just leave doors open as I go. I get into the kitchen and it's all haze, but there's no alarm going off that I can hear yet. I go over and sure enough, the pan is dry and it's black. And I open the kitchen window and I throw it out the kitchen window, bounces off the hot tub, rolls down the yard, and then I start running around the house, opening doors in all directions, and I'm just still praying because I just don't want the fire alarm to go off and the fire department shows up. And then all of a sudden, this adrenaline, that I've gotten there with, it all hits me. Okay, it's all right. It's over, Drenda. The fire alarm didn't go off. The fire department's not coming. And I just kind of crumple in the floor, and I just lay on my back in the floor. I lay down on my back, and I lay in the floor, and I start laughing so hard, I'm crying because it hits me. The very thing I judged Gary for is the very thing that I did. And I was laying there just on the floor laughing, saying, God, I did the same thing Gary did. I did the same thing. And the point of the story is...
Yes, tell me the point.
The point is that we do the same things at times. I did the same thing he did, but I judged him and thought, how dare he almost burn our house down at Christmas time. And,
But I have a little issue here. It's like, okay, here, the house is burning down. I got to go stay, but no, finish my nails.
No.
That part is a part that I...
it's a drive,
it's like,
Can't
go
get
yet.
Back in. She did
house
it
is burning.
like it was 2 minutes to finish
Okay,
up.
I was just...
When I called Gary and told him the story, I said, honey, you won't believe what I did. Do you know, when he got home, I was telling him, he didn't treat me the way I treated him. He didn't judge me. He didn't speak condescendingly. He just got this cute little smirk, kind of like he has right now on his face. And he didn't ridicule me or berate me or condescend to me and make me feel like, wow, you almost blew it and burned our house down.
I had not been up all night like you had, and so who knows what would have happened if I would have been up all night traveling from Puerto Rico. I probably would have done the same thing.
The point is, we need to understand each other. I did the same thing he did. He did. We all do make mistakes. We all have issues and situations where we blow it or we don't do the best thing. So are we making our spouse that we've committed our life to and we're both going in the same direction, are we making them feel like a loser or feel judged or that we're not their friend or we're not for them? If your friend told you some mistake they made, you'd probably jump in there and try to encourage your friend that God forgives them or he loves them, that there's hope for them. But how many times do we treat the person in our life that we love and that we're committed to for life, we treat them without understanding? And so I appreciate you being understanding. And I wished at that moment I had been a little bit more understanding the day before. When I was put in this situation and when I was laying on the floor laughing, I thought it suits me right. It suits me right that I did the same thing that I made him feel bad about. And that's just the way relationships are. Sometimes we don't always understand and we don't always put ourselves in the other person's situation and try to be understanding. And that's really what we're all looking for. We just want someone who understands our feelings.
That's right. Hey, the house is still there.
It is. And our marriage is still there.
That's
but
good.
How many marriages don't survive because we don't try to put ourselves in the other person's shoes
That's a good point,
and try to see what they see. So that's why we wrote the book. I wrote the book, Nasty Gets Us Nowhere, but it's also why I asked Gary to contribute to it. Thank you. And I tell that story in there. And we have lots of crazy, funny stories to laugh at through the years. But I do encourage you to get the book. I believe it will help you. That's why I wrote it. 38 years of marriage. We have experiences we've learned the hard way and sometimes, but we've also learned God's way, and God's
That's
way
right.
pays off in relationships.
That's right.
It does.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining me, Gary.
Hey, it's my privilege.
And I want you to get the book, and better yet, I want you to live a happy life. I expose and dispel the lies of the culture and the customs and things of the culture that have taught us the wrong way how to deal with marriage and how to deal in any relationship with the opposite sex. So I hope you'll get it. I believe it'll be life-changing for you. NastyGetsUsNowhere.com or Drenda.com. The book's available. Love to share it with you. And God bless you today. I pray for your relationships. Pray for your marriage if you're dealing right now with a difficult marriage, a difficult situation. I pray for you today. I believe God has answers, and I believe He can show you
Absolutely.
how to regain your relationship and how to maneuver through the difficulties of relationships between men and women. God bless you. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to visit me at Drenda.com and subscribe now.